Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Movie Mates podcast, the 100th episode of the podcast. I am Matthew, of course, joined by my wonderful co-host and best friend,
Callum.
Hey man, good to see you. So, we've had a bit of trouble with this. We sort of recorded it on Zoom for about 10 minutes, and then the laptop got very laggy. So we're trying it out with our camera that we use for our Christmas special. And of course, if you've seen that episode, you'll know that this is our first in-person one since that episode. It feels less weird with the camera, doesn't it? Because with the Zoom, we're looking at ourselves and stuff. So.
Yeah, it's less weird, but it's more difficult, I think. Like, because you kind of have no idea whether you are making eye contact, but it is less confronting than I anticipated. And at least we know the camera angle that we're at the minute, rather than the Christmas special, which was kind of a gamble.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
but
because we were just like shifting around our chairs, like wondering whether we were in shot.
But yeah, as I said, this is our first in-person recording in a while, since last year. And yeah, of course, it's our 100th episode, so we had to do this. We had to. It's been a wild journey, 2.5 years, and we really do appreciate you guys being there with us along the way. And I'll just pass over to Callum to explain what we're going to be doing for this episode, and because it's going to be a bit of a different two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So as the older subscribers will remember, for our 50th episode spectacular, we did a two-part episode. We did Getting to Know Us, and we did Would You Rather.
Yeah.
For this episode, we're doing a two-parter again for the 100th. You'll find out what we're doing for the second part in the coming days. But for this first one, we're doing something similar to last year. We're doing some get to know us style questions. I've prepared a few, and then we're going to maybe test the friendship by the end. As I said to Matthew in the previous record, I had some questions prepared that were a bit more coupley. Who said I love you first, but neither of us could remember. It's probably just organically poured out of the both of us.
Exactly. But yeah, just before we kick off today's episode, as always, thank you so much for everyone who supported us. Really do appreciate that loads. And of course, if you want to listen to the podcast on iTunes or email us or anything like that, the links will be in the description below. So yeah, mate, I'll let you open the floor with the first question for us.
So as is obvious, I'm not a natural with the camera. That this is the second time we've used this camera, and whenever we record on Zoom, never look into the camera. Always staring at Matthew. I mean, who could resist?
These big green eyes.
But today, I'm gonna be focusing on the phone. Unfortunately, that's just for the questions. It's not a reflection on my level of sociability. So comprised of the questions I have today are some get to know us questions, some fun facts, some movie related would you rathers for the film buffs out there. Most of them are pretty dumb, but I got them mostly from websites. I came up with a few. Some are just very basic facts which you may find boring, but I'm sure that the ones that are incredibly tedious we'll skip over quite quickly. Maybe a yes or no situation. But I've split it into a few sections that maybe Matthew could time code. So the first is some get to know us and fun facts. Some are movie related, some are childhood based, some are current lifestyle based.
Yeah, so we've got Callum's very kindly sourced these great questions for us, and hopefully you get to know us a bit better. If you've seen our 50th special, part one of that, we did like a sort of similar Q&A type thing. I always have good fun doing these as well. So yeah, mate, what's the first question you've got? So
to be perfectly candid, we got about 2 questions in before we gave up on the on the Zoom call. It was a multifaceted decision. We've previously been told maybe to up the camera quality, and we thought if we're in person, take that opportunity.
Absolutely.
And also it's quite laggy, but that is an issue which we usually are able to overcome, but I suppose that was a curse on Matthew's laptop today.
Oh no, it's always my laptop. Trust me, it's horrendous. I'll have to get a new one. And apologies if we do look a bit sweaty. It's boiling in here.
Yeah,
so
we did not choose the right week to have our 100th episode, because I'm dying. I've been patting the sweat away constantly. I made my way up to Balnahinch, so I was walking in the sun for a while, and sun cream, it's good for your skin, but it doesn't make you look less covered in fluids.
yeah. If anything, it adds to it. Like yesterday I put on sun cream for the first time in like a year or two. Yes, it was mad. Like, it's so warm here. I hate it.
Although you're a bit more adjusted. You've got a bit of a constant tan going on.
Yeah, I mean, I luckily I haven't seen to burn yet, but hey, first time for everything. But yeah, mate, first question for us.
So we have covered the first 2 questions, but we're going to go back to them because you know,
there's that goose.
We don't want to take that away from you.
Exactly,
you know.
Exactly.
Our inconvenience is, you know, your pleasure. You know, so we're obviously on YouTube. We're filming a video right now. We've been doing it for a few years. But in general, Matthew, would you like to be famous?
I think I would like to be famous, but not in the sense just for the sake of it. I want to work hard for something, then sort of be known for that one specific thing. So like, you know, be it just whatever people think of me, whatever. It's sort of changed because I never used to want to be, but I'm sure that it'll change as well. Back to that at one stage, I'm very flippant with those kind of things. But I would say well known, but maybe not, you know, famous for the sake of being famous. What about you?
Well, you know, there are people who will, you know, be, you know, do literally anything for the sake of being famous. You know, there's people on a bunch of reality TV shows who, you know, willingly become the villain because, you know, they get equal attention to, you know, and media coverage as like whoever the favorite is. So they're, you know, if they say to themselves, well, I'm obviously not going to be the favorite, so I have to be the villain because, you know, that'll get me all the notoriety. Who wants to be known for being an asshole like that? I don't get that. I'll never get that. You know, so if it was for the sake of that, I would never do that. As I said before, in our previous record, I would like to be known name wise. You know, I'd like people to say, you know, Callum, unfilled surname. You know,
yeah.
What a guy. You know, he made some good stuff. He, you know,
great sense of humor.
You know, did something good with his life. You know, that's sort of my aspirations.
Yeah.
I would rather be known as a nice guy than known by a lot of people. But if I was to be known by a lot of people, I'd rather it be by name. You know, like say you were like a great author or something. I'd rather that than, you know, a model.
Yeah, because we actually in our original recording spoke about Mr. Sunday Movies and how he was kind of, you know, anonymous for years before he, you know, showed his face on YouTube. Yeah. I feel like that was a very common thing at the time. He was
nearly touching a million subscribers, you know, without ever showing his face.
Yeah, it goes to show you it's all personality. You know what I mean? YouTube especially.
Yep. Like, if you have the content, you know, you don't really need to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are definitely some people who get subscribers because of the way they look. You know, so if you can entirely remove your appearance from that, you know, it proves that they're there for your content.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose knowing the second question, that the first one leads well into it with talent shows. What was your
the second one?
The second one was the teddy bear one.
Yes.
I'll mess this up.
I want to know, do you still have your childhood teddy bear? I know, but the viewers
don't.
Well,
the viewers will get a sneak peek, of course. I still have my childhood teddy bear in my room. You know, who wouldn't? And of course, if I can find it, it would be quite awkward if I've lost it again. Yes, in here we have Mr. Tickle, a motorised Mr. Tickle. I don't know if Mr. Men's popular in the US or anywhere else, but
don't think we have to worry about that audience. Mostly UK. We're also like 90. I think it's like 98% male or something.
I know.
Or am
the ladies?
I mean, I might be making that statistic up. It's either that or it's 98% UK. I think that's maybe the case.
But if
you know, I don't think our accents necessarily carry over anywhere except the UK.
Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Men was a big part of my childhood. So of course, and Mr. Tickle was my favourite. So he's the only one I have left, I think, at the minute. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I'd seen a video, which on YouTube, which was a clip from Ramesh Ranganathan's TV show on the BBC, called The Ranganation, and I think there was a statistic that like a third of all people still sleep with their childhood teddy bear.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm not about that. But I am still in possession of my childhood teddy bear, which is an ape, if we're gonna get particular, monkey with no tail. Named Harry after my dad.
Oh.
So that's in the wardrobe,
nice.
And I aspire to impart that on a future kin.
A future kin, I like that. It's a family token. You know what I mean. It'll last for generations. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of people that sleep with their teddy bears. I did not expect it to be that much.
Again, I may just be completely wrong.
I mean, it's an interesting fact. It's an interesting fact, nonetheless.
Even if it's untrue. Yeah. So yes. To lead on to more of the first question, what are your general opinions on TV talent shows and reality shows?
Well, it's weird because I think back in the day, I know I said this in the first recording as well, like the first thing that came to my head with talent shows was Jeremy Lynch from Britain's Got Talent years ago. And to be fair, a lot of, I think there is a lot of big success stories from like X Factor. Obviously, One Direction, James Arthur, those kind of people, Little Mix. But yeah, I think generally not really my thing. But like people absolutely love Love Island at the minute.
Yeah,
it's crazy popular. The first big one I can remember was like Big Brother, but then that was like really early 2000s. But yeah, I mean, I don't really watch any cable TV whatsoever, to be honest. Just really Netflix or movies or the podcast. What about you, mate?
I like when the people on the talent shows do original material, because I mean you pretty much know that whenever someone's coming out with a cover of Nina Simone's Feeling Good, that it's going to be a pile of dog shit. Pretty much if someone's doing a cover on a talent show, it's not as good as the original, so why do it? It's like remaking a film. I don't really see the point. Love Island, we did get into Love Island in 2019.
We did.
I did not watch any of 2020's, and I've sort of dipped in and out of 2021, and it just hasn't recaptured the magic. Like I've gone back and watched so many clips of the 2019 one, and it was sort of in a special moment in our life when we were making new friends and going out a bit more, doing more stuff socially, and that was probably one of my favorite summers. And I think maybe that memory's connected to that, or this season's just absolute shit.
No, I agree with your point there, because the 2019 one that was just peak Love Island, really, wasn't it? It was hilarious. There was so much tea. There were so much funny characters. I mean,
like there needs to be a balance of people that you like and people that you hate.
Yeah,
and I just don't think that balance is there anymore. So of course we started out as a movie review channel.
Yeah.
Doing the podcast, several movies at a time. Moved into some individual movies, TV, and we're diversifying the content even more, which we'll update you on. In and around this time, within the next few days, you'll get a video about what we plan to do in the future. But what is the last movie that you watched?
Last movie that I watched was not a podcast movie, or just in general.
In general,
I would say probably. Good question. Well, we've reviewed Another Round recently. That was probably the most recent one, because it was really good. We went to the cinema, and it was a fantastic time. Probably one of my favourite cinema experiences in the last few years, actually. It was really, really good. That was probably my last in person, in the cinema. But probably outside of that, I always like to go back and watch some of my favourites, like Don John, 500 Days of Summer. So I'm always watching them. But I don't really get much time anymore, really, to watch movies outside of podcast.
He's working full time.
Yeah, working, podcasting, and gym. So, yeah, probably Another Round, which was a fantastic experience.
As I said to you before we started recording, I rewatched this movie What If, starring Zoe Kazan and Daniel Radcliffe. It's one of my favorite romantic comedies, which I imagine we'll probably talk about in the future, because it is very much our vibe. I said to Matthew, it's sort of 500 Days of Summer vibe-ish.
Yeah.
What ratio of movies to movies we review to movies that you just watch for pure fun? Would you say do you kind of just make time for the ones that I mentioned?
I would say probably more so now, but if I get a free chance, I'll definitely always watch some of my favorites. And also I like to watch a few of the new ones. Like since we started the podcast, like we kind of have Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Now TV going. So like there's some pretty much any movie ever is at least in one of those platforms. So it's nice. We sort of get a chance to watch anything new there. But yeah, like there's a lot of movies that actually come out this year that are definitely added to my favourites, like Map of 20 Perfect Things, for example. Really get Another Round as well.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So yeah, and doing the podcast, it just helps you sort of expand your film, your bucket list, not bucket list, but like your film list. And
I do have a physical bucket list, and it's 540 movies long.
Well, to be fair, like I've definitely I feel better for like watching all the classics, like Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Back to the Future with the podcast. Like it's nice to say that you've watched them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my answer for that.
I'd say I watch 5 or 6 movies a week, and then we probably talk about 4 or 5. So yeah, I'm probably sneaking in what 1 or 2 that we maybe don't speak about. It is almost exclusively rewatches, because I'm like, well, if I'm watching a new movie, it should be when we have an opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel any time when it's a first time viewing that it's kind of just wasted potential, unless I'm seeing it in the cinema, which is what I recently did with Fargo.
Okay.
You know, me and my dad saw that, so that was sort of a notable exception to that.
Yeah.
So Matthew, I have written this question, which is a bit, I mean, the wording's a bit brutal. I have written, when did you last cry at a movie, or in general?
When the last, to be fair, I'm close to tears right now because like this podcast is, I feel bad because Callum's made the journey over from Belfast, and I've just bottled it. I've let him down with all the technological stuff. So yeah, I was out in.
I think we've got there in the end, except that the battery's going to die.
The battery's going. I'll double check the battery for the viewers. Luckily we are still recording. That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
It does auto save if it turns off, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so.
I hope so.
So yeah. When's the last time I cried?
I think if this deleted itself, we'd just bin it off. I think we'd just do something else.
God, this really does remind me of the old days with the Spider-Man reviews and stuff. But I would say last time I cried was probably.
I'm sorry.
That's probably probably in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Was,
a bit lonely.
So I was going to say, with loneliness, I do sort of make repeated reference to the fact that Matthew was trying to, like, you know, have his is it Before Sunrise? The first one.
Yeah.
You know, he was, you know, hoping to meet a pretty stranger to get him around London, and
Yeah,
I think if you'd put yourself out there, that would have gone down.
I don't know, mate, but yeah, probably London because a bit lonely and stuff, and yeah, just fish out of water. What about you, mate?
You know, I'm not really a crier. The last movie I cried at was on my probably 6th or 7th watch of About Time. You know, I finally broke down at the wedding scene because it's just so beautiful. But you know, I'm not usually a crier. I feel all my emotions on the inside, but you know, I don't necessarily show them externally. I think there's absolutely nothing, like, you know, any perception that there's anything not masculine about crying is ridiculous. So it has nothing to do with that. You know, it's just for whatever reason I just don't do it too frequently. Sometimes I'm just lying on my beanbag, maybe in a sleeping bag, and just the tears come. And I'm like,
happens at the weirdest moments.
Yeah, it's usually not like after being screamed at or something. It's usually just a moment of vulnerability.
Yeah, I work at McDonald's, and like there's sometimes that you get some angry customers. You just think, what's the point? But then sure, gotta get through the bad moments to see the good. You know what I mean?
To get that employee of the month.
Not this month, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe one day.
So Matthew, I was wondering, do you have a lucky or a favourite number?
29.
29?
Yeah, I don't know why. I really like the number 29.
Is that your football number or anything?
No, it's just the one that I use my email. And yeah, I don't know why I like 29. It's just always been my number.
Oh yeah, your gamer tag was Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel 29 or Pro Footballer 29.
Was there any reason for the Captain Marvel fascination?
I liked Captain America, I liked Marvel, and then I combined the two before the movie. Before they made Captain Marvel the movie. So
it wasn't because you were catfishing people into thinking you were a woman?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not that. What about you, mate? What's your favorite number?
My favourite number is 6, and I don't understand why, but I operate in numbers of 6. I walk in 6s.
He's a mysterious man.
I touch things 6 times. I've nearly gotten into a few accidents, crossing the road in a number of 6 because I have to for whatever reason. So I wouldn't say it's a lucky number because it's probably some misfortune. But you know, it's is it even a favourite? It's an obsession.
It's an obsession, is what it is. But that's interesting. I remember you saying that to me before, and it's because 6 is quite a strange number to count in, isn't it? But fair enough. Each to their own.
Because you would think I hate odd numbers. So you would think 6 divided by 2 is 3. That would annoy me, but for whatever reason, it makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Matthew, we know you have pets, so I'm gonna skip past that. I don't have any pets. No one cares. But I'm wondering, are you a hoarder?
A hoarder?
We're in your room, and I have to say no.
There's a lot of stuff that I've hidden away. I did a lot of tidying before Callum came up, and there's too much stuff in here for its own good. Too much sort of movie memorabilia going on. But I would say a hoarder, no, but probably I don't know when to stop in terms of buying stuff that I like, be it like DVDs or movie stuff. So yeah, probably need to cut down on that. What about you, mate?
I'm quite minimalistic, and I'm not very sentimental. So you know, if things are taking up room, I'm quite happy to bin them. You know, if they're present, I'll keep them. You know, either display them or put them in a memory box if I want to sort of. You know, if I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but kind of secretly get rid of it. You know, it'll go in the memory box. Nothing that you've bought me. You know that's all on display with pride. You know, as I'm sure you guys will see in the future, because I imagine we'll be filming back at my house someday soon.
Fingers crossed.
So yeah, I would not say I'm a hoarder.
Yeah. See, like it's not bad, but I think there's a connotation that it's such a bad thing. Like, I think if people want to keep stuff, absolutely keep it.
Yeah, it's just being easily emotionally attached.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Of course, we do a fair share of movie reviews. That is the principal concept of the channel. Let's see if that's where it remains for the next few years. On the channel, but we talk about this quite a lot between the two of us. But what movie do you think you got the most wrong on the first review?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would say for me it's either Joker or Logan. Both because I really probably overhyped them at the time. Excuse me. And yeah, especially with Joker, because obviously we reviewed King of Comedy afterwards, and then you kind of realise how different how similar it is, and how unoriginal, I suppose you could say, Joker is. But Logan as well, I remember being really hyped for it at the time, and because you're really hyped for it, you almost want it to be so good. But then looking back now, it was very good, but it did a lot. It didn't do a lot as well as I thought it would do. I think it could have taken a bit more risks, but it's still a very good movie anyway. What about you, mate?
My regrets are usually being a bit too harsh.
Too harsh, okay.
I was maybe a bit too harsh on Avengers Endgame. I don't think it's anything special. I don't think. I was seeing the other day on Instagram, so someone was saying, "Oh, I can't believe people are hopping on this trend to hate on Avengers Endgame when it was a cinematic masterpiece. Like all you're doing is trying to get attention, by detracting from this perfect film." I'm like, come on, lad. It's like, one, none of the MCU movies are perfect. They're, switch your brain off fun for the most part.
Yeah.
Some, have certain depth to them. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, namely.
Yeah.
But Avengers Endgame, good fun time.
I would agree. Yeah.
Obviously, great cast, great characters. It's just
for your taste.
Let me down a little, but I wasn't reasonably harsh on the day. But to be fair, it was probably a few hours later with a lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So, maybe a bit too harsh. Definitely a bit too harsh on Joker. I think after seeing The King of Comedy, as you said, some of my criticisms would have been a bit more valid, but at the time it was maybe a bit unreasonable.
Okay. That's fair.
So, What is your favorite pizza topping? This one of the boring ones, because I wanted to know whether Hawaiian is a yay or an A.
Oh, Hawaiian's definitely a massive hit. But yeah, we sometimes go out for pizza a few times, and I just like a classic margarita from either Little Wing or Domino's or something like that. If you live in Northern Ireland, I would say margarita or pepperoni. But I'm not really sort of big hater of any pizza topping. If it's on a pizza, I'll probably eat it, unless it's lettuce or broccoli or something like that.
Something actually healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but probably margarita.
Well, margarita would be my preference too. Of course. So this is one of the very boring ones. But Hawaiian, I think, is a lot better than. I think plain pineapple isn't great. It's not a huge issue for me. I don't think it doesn't belong on pizza, but it's not my preference. It's
a controversial one, Hawaiian pizza. I'm a big fan, but I can see why people don't like it.
I had written this question exactly as I've written it. I wrote, neither of us really drink, but when we do, what's your favourite alcoholic drink? And then I arrived today, and Matthew informed me that he'd been on a boozy night out last night.
Yeah, it was a work day.
Part of the job, was it?
Yeah. There was a few of us out, and it was mad. I'm still recovering, really, to be honest with you. I wasn't crazy drunk or anything, but I just feel a bit tired and a bit out of it today, and other things have happened. And
do you want to share with the class the quantity of alcohol you drank?
The class. It was a good few shots, couple of ciders, and then just a few other drinks. Like I felt bad because people kept buying me drinks, and I felt like I had to drink them. I couldn't really couldn't let them down. But it was a good night. It was just a mad one for sure. What about you?
Well, what's your favourite drink when you are on a night out?
Probably I quite like a Copperberg, like a strawberry and lime Copperberg. I don't mind a baby Guinness shot. They're actually decent. Like,
is that like champagne or like Chardonnay in it or something?
Bailey's and something else. I can't remember.
I think it's like a sparkling wine or something.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but it's like it looks like a little. It looks like a mini Guinness, obviously by the title, but it's like Bailey's mixed with something else. But it's a nice shot. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I don't actually enjoy the taste of alcohol. You know, of course the effects have their positives and negatives, but taste is a real negative for me. You know, my signature drink would be a Tesco value vodka mixed with whatever diet drink is closest. I was astounded by the amount of alcohol you said that you drank last night.
So was I at the time. I wasn't expecting it, mate. But yeah, it was just a mad one, mate. To be honest with you, from all parties, on all accounts, it was. Yeah, I'm sure some of them were watching, but it was a good night. It was a good night. Yeah. And
the next question will be very obvious for you. You know, considering your physique. But are you good at any sports?
I'm getting into the gym recently. I've been going for about a year and a half now. Really taking it seriously, kind of 2021. I used to play football. I used to like football. Probably not that good at it. But I would say I don't really play much sports really anymore. Probably just gym. Just weightlifting, mate. Just a bit of deadlifts. Cal's been training with me sometimes, and it's been good. So hopefully,
sort of. I'm coming off the back of a bit of a knee injury. Messed them up cycling, and then I fell off my bike. Did I tell you? Yeah, I did tell you about that because my knee was messed up looking.
Yeah. But yeah. Hopefully we'll. I don't know. You might see some gym related content on the channel in the future. Certainly maybe in the next year or two. But yeah, probably weightlifting for me. How about you?
Yeah, for me it's pretty much exclusively cycling. You know, I really want to get into the gym. Want to bulk up a bit, but you know, we maybe want to do some Joe Fraser style, everyman fitness style videos. You know, because I think that's someone we can really relate to.
Definitely.
People like him. But yeah, cycling's really the only thing I do.
Cycling's a good one. Like you know, it's popular for a reason. You know what I mean? It's good just to go, especially nice weather. Get outdoors, enjoy the countryside.
Are you religious?
I'm agnostic. Yeah, for the channel. I used to be religious, but I don't know, just fell out of touch with it and stuff. And yeah, like just agnostic. I don't really know what to believe. It's sort of like it's one of those things where like I just don't really think about it that often to really, you know, pay a lot of attention to it or give it much thought. So no, just agnostic. I'm just sort of on classic sit in the fence kind of guy. What about you, mate?
Yeah, I'm agnostic as well. I used to be an atheist. When there's thoughts and opinions, you know, someone's being a fence sitter is the most comfortable position.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
What is your best achievement, or the one that you're proudest of?
That's a really good question. I was really proud of, you know, the channel. Just in terms of, you know, we've kept it going for 2.5 years. Not that I didn't think we would, but you know, I think we've been probably even more consistent than we thought we would have been 2.5 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Obviously, we've taken breaks, but that's just healthy. I think just to give us a bit of time. But probably that, or probably just deadlifting. I'm really trying to get the deadlifts up.
What's the PR these days?
PR for the normal barbell deadlift is 202.5 kilos.
As a 1 rep max.
1 rep max. So I want to try and get it to maybe, you know, a 215 by the end of the year. I don't know. It might be a bit of a jump, but probably if we're gonna pick one, definitely the channel, because I loved it.
Did you say 205?
202.5.
So that's insane.
It's you need to be kind of in the zone for that kind of thing. Like I probably couldn't pull it today, to be honest, but it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm all shy, I'm all embarrassed. But if I had to pick one, it would definitely be the YouTube channel, because it's my baby. It's our baby. I love it.
Mine would be making it through school without dropping out.
Because
I really thought at a point in 6th year, I thought, you know,
It's a good one.
This is not going well. You know, I thought, you know, I don't know whether I would rather drop out and get no A levels or, you know, potentially get like 3 Ds with like my anxiety leading to like, you know, not doing well in the exams.
Yeah.
You know, I feel absolutely blessed that I did not have to sit those year 14 exams. You know, I mean, I'm very happy with the grades I have, but you know, who's to say how well I would have done on the day? But you know, I wasn't feeling strong at that point.
You glad you stuck it out?
I'm glad I stuck it out because you know it obviously opens up you know more job opportunities.
Yeah.
You know potentially if I want to go back to university,
For sure.
You know the doors open a bit more. The doors open based on that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know I do feel like to a certain level, you know, it sort of stunted my ability to like, you know, have manual skills.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think dropping out at like 16, sort of you have to take care of yourself quicker. You have to develop, you know, responsibility and independence quicker and better. And you know, so for some people then their instinct on that is to go into a trade, and I don't really have anything that's sort of, you know, hand skill based, you know.
Yeah, I agree. Like I feel like school especially, like it teaches you how to do a 9 to 5, but doesn't teach you like the practical stuff of, you know, businesses or, you know, finances. You know what I mean?
I don't think they should change the curriculum because I do think some of the stuff they teach is really
important.
I
agree.
If you watch like Jake Paul's teacher this, like he can just get in the bin.
Yeah,
like, you know, there is obviously value in education.
For sure.
They should just maybe sub in some stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I look back at school, I sort of think I didn't really like school, to be honest, but you know, some of the subjects were good. You know, I like politics and English, and that was it. Really.
Fair enough. Burn on the third subject.
Burn the bridges. Yeah.
Next one is also interesting. I think. What's your most prized possession?
Prized possession. I mean, all the gifts you've gotten me over the years are definitely definitely up there.
Of course.
One of them being a fridge magnet with my 3 cinematic crushes. If you're familiar with the podcast, Minka Kelly, Olivia Munn, and of course Abby Mallard's the main one. All of your gifts, I think as well. Probably my teddy bear, my Mr. Tickle teddy bear is up there.
What's your favourite thing that you bought yourself?
I don't know. Probably at the minute, I like my vinyl record collection. I enjoy listening to them. So probably that, yeah. What about you, man?
Yeah, I'd say my favourite thing that you've bought me is my Tobey Maguire cardboard cutout, because that you know, I have it on my windowsill, you know, for the neighbours to peruse.
Of course.
You know, hopefully scare some guests in the future. Because I mean, I've only seen him in like The Great Gatsby and the Spider-Man film, so like it's not like he's, you know, like my cultural touchstone hero or anything. But like it's so hilarious.
Yeah.
And then my favorite thing I bought myself was we'd seen Harold and Maude. We both loved it. I think we both agreed it had an amazing soundtrack. And I tried to track down the soundtrack, but they only made like 250 pressings of it, so it was an incredibly limited release. It's like hundreds of pounds to buy. So instead, I went after this Cat Stevens record that had the big hits from that on it. That were never released on any other vinyl record aside from the soundtrack itself, which wasn't released until the 2000s. So it's a Cat Stevens album I have, and it's called Footsteps in the Dark Greatest Hits Volume 2. So it's so incredibly niche. There's like, you know, there was an infinitesimal chance that I would ever get it, and it just happened to pop up on eBay. And you would think like original pressings would be so much more expensive than new ones, but it's the complete opposite. People are like, oh well, it's used, stick it on eBay for 13 quid, and I'm like,
I wish to see comic books.
I would have paid like 50 quid for that at least, you know, because it's absolutely my favorite record.
It's class.
It's the, you know, it's I think probably the second oldest one I have, and you know, I have 4 or 5 original pressings, which are my favorite ones, but you know, I just have no idea why they didn't like rinse me for more money.
I mean, yeah, I much the same apply to comic books, because it's usually the older they are, the more valuable they are. But luckily with vinyl records, hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah, and as long as you keep them up condition wise, because I mean, I'm sure if 50 years from now, music from then 100 years ago that are on original pressings is going to be worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't sell them though.
Yeah, neither would I. Get yourself some vinyl records, guys.
Because I mean, if someone's like, here's a, you know, we'll give you £100, like it's not worth it for the years that you've kept it.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So, are you related or distantly related to anyone famous?
Well,
I think I've asked this before. Maybe
I think I know you are. I don't think I am. Not to my knowledge.
You did famously take the piss out of us on a two truths one lie, and you
yeah,
related to the governess from the chase. I did semi believe you because I was like that was next level.
What can I say? Man of deception. Yeah, I think that would be a good video one day. Two truths, one lie. But yeah, I would say no, unfortunately. What about you? I know you're related to
I'm allegedly related to
that's mad. This one's mad.
To Andrew Jackson.
That's crazy. Like that's so interesting.
You know, he's one of the old ass presidents, so you know I assume we probably couldn't connect the family tree dots, but apparently on my mum's side related to him. No idea if that's true, but you know, who would lie about that? But maybe it's an issue of, you know, you go for an obscure lie. You know, you go for one of the unknown presidents, and no one questions it.
To be fair, I saw a video like on YouTube years ago, like the second president's grandson was still alive because like they had kids really late or something, so it ended up like just 2 generations later and still alive.
Because that was the 1700s.
Yeah, so I mean, it might happen. Mate. You might be related to. You might be related. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, I'm not claiming I'm his grandson or anything. You know, maybe, you know, great nephew, second cousin. I don't know. What is your favorite quote, movie or otherwise?
That's a good question. I mean, there's the classic one that springs to mind is always the Spider-Man. Great power goes great responsibility on. But favorite movie quote. I don't know, that's such a good question as well. There's a really good one in the third Night of the Museum film with Robin Williams, because
I'll be bringing up Night of the Museum very soon.
Okay, that's interesting.
Number 3.
Because there's a really good line in there. I can't remember it word for word, but I think it's Robin Williams' last performance and before he died. So it is quite emotional.
He voiced the dog in absolutely anything.
Oh really? Okay.
Starring Simon Pegg, a piece of shit. So. Like that must be so depressing. Like, at least with Chadwick Boseman, you know, he pretty much had a toss up of whether it was going to be Mario's Black Bottom or Marvel's What If.
Yeah.
Either way, he's playing a beloved character. Yeah. So you know, he's pretty safe. He's pretty safe. His legacy's secured with his first and final performances. Robin Williams, dog in a piece of shit film. I feel bad for him.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. I'd say for me. There's a good few quotes in 500 Days of Summer. You know, there's a good few in there. But I would probably say, Great Power Comes Great Responsibility. It's a classic. I used it for school council back in the day as well. You know, our school council did like a picture of you and then a quote underneath it. So that's what I went for.
Oh dear God.
That was cringe as well. I'm gonna check this is still recording. Yeah, we're sweet. But yeah, it was proper cringe back in the day.
It wasn't that many years ago, was it, Matthew?
No, not even. It was like 4 years ago. Not even 3 years ago. So yeah, I'm a bit embarrassed for my younger self there. But yeah, what would be your quote?
Mine would actually be from Blade Runner. I don't know if you remember this, but it's the moment where Roy Batty is decommissioned and he says, I'm not going to go off the full spiel because I can probably only remember it probably 90%. But you know, the final line of it, just before he dies, is all those moments will be lost in time like tears in rain. Time to die. And it's just beautiful because, you know, it is about the fleeting moment that is life. I mean, I disagree. I think life is, you know, they famously say life is short. Life's long. You know, it feels like, you know, I've lived a long life. An uneventful life, but a long one.
It's a good quote. It's a fantastic. It's probably one of the most famous ones. It's very good.
You know, that breaks my heart every time I see that movie.
No, I don't know.
The rest of the movies, hit and miss. You know, the last question we did was about our favorite movie quote. So following that is, what's the worst film you've ever seen?
Worst film I've ever seen. That's such a great question.
Now, I feel like one day soon we may have to do a video in defense of film criticism because a lot of people do not enjoy the idea of film criticism. You know, it's something to be enjoyed, entertainment.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people that are saying that are commentary YouTubers who tear down people's content, and that's one person you're criticizing, rather than we're talking about something that's made by committee, and it's either made by committee successfully or unsuccessfully.
Yeah, and with that, like I had mentioned to you about it, like Chris Stuckman, obviously probably the biggest movie reviewer on the platform, I'd say, up there with Jeremy Jans.
Right up there, yeah.
He's done a video like he's not doing reviews anymore, and how he was just sort of fed up with criticising films and harshly. For us, like I don't think we ever go with like a personal attack at anyone. I hope it doesn't come across that way. That's obviously not our intention. But worst movie of all time. Obviously, we acknowledge like we couldn't make a movie. Obviously, on our own. It's a big production.
But no one does.
No one does,
I think I can make a short film with a small team.
Yeah.
And do it all right. I probably couldn't write it, but I think I could be a cog within the machine. And then on a big project, probably a small role within the creation of that. I couldn't be a director of a big project. Couldn't be the writer of a big project. I'm fully willing to admit that. But that doesn't absolve it of any criticism.
Exactly. And I think for me, when you ask worst movie ever, there's one that jumps my head straight away.
Okay.
And it's one we reviewed on the channel back years ago.
Okay.
And it's Men in Black International. I absolutely
really?
detest that film. Just because Men in Black 3 is one of my favourite movies of all time. Certainly sci-fi anyway. And it just ended in such a perfect note that this movie just didn't resonate with me, and I remember really giving it a bad score when we reviewed it.
It was a firm piece of shit, unfortunately, from you.
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed it. I suppose I had the luxury of not having seen any of the previous ones. A thing that like for me, like I watch so many movies, but like I do that quite a lot. My first Star Wars film was The Force Awakens. I sort of jump into franchises. I don't think I'd be willing to do that these days. I think if it was the 5th movie in the franchise, I wouldn't just go, oh yeah, let's just go and have a laugh.
I think that's because as well,
like we did that with Hobbs and Shaw and everything.
Yeah, like we know the benefit of going in to a franchise at the start.
Yeah.
Like I think we both said if we watched the Fast and Furious films from the beginning, watching Fast 9, especially Fast 7 as well, would have made it sort of emotionally resonate. Obviously, Fast 7 that did happen because we reviewed them on in podcasts before then, but even things like the Rocky films, I was very thankful that I'd sort of watched them all in order, and not jumped in with a reboot or anything like that. But yeah, what would be your answer for that one, mate?
See, there's a few choices obviously, because I do genuinely think Gone with the Wind is it's not necessarily the worst movie ever made, but it's the worst well received movie ever made. I mean, it won Best Picture. I don't think anyone who will watch it in the 21st century would think that it's even I don't think many people would watch it. It's nearly 4 hours long. It's let's be honest, racist.
You can check out our thoughts on our American
we talked about it
episode
for an hour.
And it's probably one of more serious reviews, just because nothing about that film's funny.
I mean, I feel okay kicking it because everyone involved is dead. Fucking trash. If you haven't seen it, I mean, actually, like I think you should watch it. I found it quite an educational experience.
Why not to make a movie?
If I could see it in the cinema, but in no way give money to any of the people responsible for making it. If they showed it at the QFT and all the money went to them or something like that, or an independent cinema, I would probably watch it out of educational curiosity to sort of see what the buzz is in the cinema. Like, it looks incredible for the time. It was one of the first color films ever made. Like, it looks incredible.
It does, yeah.
And I think that Vivian Leigh, incredible actress, she manages to be good in this. It's just, I don't think you can have such deplorable characters and present them as like the objective good and have that reflect well on your film. Yeah,
and I think one thing about that film that strikes me is it is like a time capsule film in the sense that is just, of its time, and it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
crazy that that's a time that existed. Yeah. Because people are saying, it's cancel culture, vultures coming for culture.
Yeah. But with that film, it is inescapable, really.
Yeah, as though you can't like criticize things that happened in the past because sentiments were different, and I'm like, well, they were the wrong sentiments to have even at the time. Like, obviously we can't put ourselves in people's shoes, but I mean, I just don't know how that goes through so many people, because it was a book first, and then someone went, oh, we need to adapt this genius,
and audiences loved it,
and then it went through hundreds of people, and then as you say, millions of people saw it. It became the highest grossing film of all time, and it still is, adjusting for inflation. So I mean, it's just wild to me. But it's still not my answer because it's not the worst time I've ever had watching a film. There's been a few, and I think we'll talk about them in the future. But the worst cinema experience I've ever had is Into the Woods.
Into the Woods, yeah.
And
I remember you saying that.
I said I was gonna mention Night at the Museum 3. I'll mention it here. That is the option that I presented to the family as the film to see.
I thought you were going to say that's the worst movie ever. I was like,
no, I've never seen it because I wanted to see that movie, and my brother pushed for Into the Woods because he's into musical theatre, I guess, and I like the odd musical. Sometimes musicals are some of the best films. I love Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. La La Land I quite enjoyed. High School Musical, even though Matthew didn't watch it, that's fine. I mean, that is the weirdest review I've ever given because I was just explaining the plot to you and going, this is good, and you're like, I wouldn't know.
I remember for that podcast, like, I was just so tired, so I was just on the floor, just like...
No, it's fair enough. Like, I did ask you to watch, like...
No, it was my bad. I should have watched it. We will... those podcasts feel... I mean, they were ages ago, but they... you kind of forget, like, we did... All those early podcasts, we actually did in person, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just we didn't show it. We didn't have a camera, so yeah.
We weren't socially adjusted enough to want to put our faces on the internet.
And luckily Zoom came around, so.
While we were at school, really.
Yeah, because that was sort of the early days of the podcast as well. Starting a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I mean the 50th one was that was summer 2020.
About a year ago. Yeah, about a year ago.
So I mean, we didn't show our faces until we were done at school, right?
Yeah.
Which I mean, probably the right move.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You don't want to be simultaneously an easy target for bullying or criticism, but also some schools, some employers won't take kindly to that necessarily. But yeah, Into the Woods, you think it's going to end 40 minutes before it does.
That's always the worst.
You pray to God that it will, and it just doesn't. It never ends somehow. It's entirely sung, which is one of the worst kinds of things a musical can be. I quite liked Hamilton. It's too long, Hamilton, but some of that pretty enjoyable. With a minimalistic set. But Into the Woods, dear God, don't even bother. Like, not even out of educational curiosity. Like, I'm telling you to watch like a horrible film instead of this one. But like, it was painful. So it's not technically the worst film. Like, I do think there are objectively worse films, but it was definitely my worst cinema experience.
So that's your answer.
I'm not gonna put them on par.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Gone with the Wind is the worst film I've ever seen.
Okay.
Into the Woods is probably the worst cinema experience
right.
with a film, because we've obviously had bad cinema experiences with people who obviously make the cinema experience terrible.
But rarely with the film itself.
Really. Yeah. With the film itself, I don't think I've seen a worse film in cinema.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's a fair answer.
So the next question is, and this is a bit more of a lifestyle one. What would be at the top of your bucket list?
Okay, well that's a good question. Are these all of them are good questions actually? I'd say
so,
bucket list for me, definitely traveling, just traveling in general. I know London's. I've recently got back from London, but I definitely want to live there at a point. I think I really like it. America, for sure. And just probably making sure the channels keeps going, keeping up with the gym as well, and probably just the standard stuff, mate. Traveling, gym, podcasting, and just trying to cohesively manage them all together because, it does take quite a bit of our time. The channel, to be fair, preparing
more
for
it.
You as well, mate. So some weeks we have a lot, like it just depends as well, because some weeks we have a larger volume than others, but I love doing it still, and I think for me, travelling, moving out, living in wherever it may be, and then gym and podcasting would be my answer. What about you?
Do you have a physical list?
I don't have a physical list, mate. I don't. I probably should if you start with. It's good to categorise those things and sort of, because then there's more likely they actually get done, because you forget them.
Yeah,
I know you have a list.
I have a physical list of 5-year goals, then 10-year goals. But if we're talking actual bucket list, I have a physical bucket list with 2 things on it. It's the second priority is see the Northern Lights.
Okay.
If I was ever to travel anywhere, I sort of don't understand. People go to Spain, they spend time on the beach, and then they lounge in the pool. And sure, it's nice to be in a different country, but that doesn't really appeal to me. Like, I like to see something.
Yeah.
Which, I get the appeal of landmarks and stuff. But I just think the greatest, like, natural wonder of the world is the Northern Lights.
Yeah, it's spectacular.
So in whatever country that would be, I'd love to see those. But the actual number one thing on my bucket list is to be on Pointless.
Yeah, I remember you saying, like, that is. I mean, if we're gonna get some subscribers as well, you may as
toss it out. On
yeah,
we'd have to be at a certain level of success where I'd feel comfortable doing that. Where it'd be like,
yeah. Alexander Upson. So, how big a following do you have, Callum?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just
228.
228.
And then he's like, 1,000. No, Andrew. Sorry, Alexander. I need to probably get that right.
Andrew.
But you remember? So the next question, and one of the final questions for getting to know us before we get into some quick movie-related would you rather's. I'm wondering, who was your first celebrity crush, and who are your current 3 celebrity crushes?
Well,
you can give as many past ones as you want.
Any fans of the channel know, one of my first celebrity crushes was, of course, Abby Mallard.
Oh, of course.
From Chicken Little.
Standard, yeah.
Classic. Also, I really like Jessica Alba in Fantastic Four.
Fair enough.
You're like,
no, I'm just like, I'm hoping this isn't coming across as like weird or leering or anything. But, like, it's just a question you ask,
Yeah, it's just a get to know us. Yeah, just any woman in any superhero,
any woman
in any superhero film back in the day, sort of mid 2000 superhero films. So
okay.
Yeah. And I'd say now, there's 2 that spring to mind straight away.
Current ones? I'm actually curious. I'm not.
Minka Kelly and Olivia. Still, yeah. Plus, they're very talented. They're good actresses as well.
Oh yeah,
I think
Minka Kelly's great in Titans, and Olivia Munn. I'll have to watch more of her films. I've seen Office Christmas Party.
They seem really nice in interviews as well. They seem so chill. But yeah, probably Abby Mallard, Olivia Munn, and Minka Kelly would be my 3.
Okay. Are those your 3 current?
Those my
one past. Have you got a third current, or is 2 enough for you?
A third current celebrity crush. I would say
if you're really committed to the editing, you'll pop them up on the screen.
Yeah, if I'm really that committed. Okay, so we'll go Olivia Munn, Minka Kelly, and.
No, I feel weird asking this. Come on.
There's I don't know. I used to watch a lot of tennis back in the day. And there's a tennis player called Maria Sharapova.
Sure.
She actually got banned for doing steroids in tennis. I think allegedly. But yeah, that's probably my answer for that. Yeah.
Okay, probably, so we were talking about this before the record, but my childhood, I suppose because you've gone for a cartoon one, I'll go for a cartoon one, which was Kim Possible.
Okay.
Current, it'd be Karen Fukuhara from Suicide Squad and The Boys. She plays Katana.
Okay. Yeah.
And Olivia Cook from Bates Motel and Ready Player One. Okay. I don't know. Have you seen either of those?
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think you've seen her or anything. And Catherine McNamara from Shadowhunters and Arrow.
Okay.
Have you seen? Do you know who she is?
No.
No. Okay, you're just nodding along. We'll wrap that up.